pick up your responses. Okay, right? So we are starting the recording right now. Thank you all once again for being early or on time. Today we are going to talk about the use of some strategies in order to improve our performance in closed passage, and specifically comprehension closed passage, okay? Not grammar closed passage, but comprehension closed passage, all right? Can anybody on the list tell me what's the difference between a grammar and a comprehension closed passage? What's the biggest difference, okay? Let's have Reagan answer.
A grammar clause gives you options to fill in the blanks. But,
okay, that's good. That's one major difference. It gives you options, whereas the comprehension clause does not. Excellent. But there are more differences. Anybody else wants to tell me what's the difference between a grammar and a comprehension clause? Arthur, go ahead.
A grammar clause has words for you to pick, and a closed passage doesn't have any.
I think you are just repeating the point that Reagan has already brought up, Arthur. Reagan already said that the grammar clause has options while the comprehension clause does not. Did you hear him say that just now? Yeah, so please don't repeat the point. I'm asking about other points that you might have. When you observe grammar clause and comprehension clause, there are differences between them, right? They're not testing the same things. What do you think are the differences, besides the fact that a grammar clause gives you options, whereas a comprehension clause does not? Kayla, go ahead.
I think it's that in the close thing, there's more than one answer. While grammar clause got a specific answer.
Okay, thank you. That's very good observation. In a grammar clause, there's only one possible answer, right? They give you the helping words, but you can only pick one possible answer. Whereas in a comprehension clause, a blank may have multiple answers, right? There may be multiple possible answers that can fit in that blank, depending on what that blank is. Very good. I will add one more difference. Grammar clause only tests grammar, right? That's why it's called grammar clause. But comprehension clause can test you on vocabulary, it can test you on grammar, and it can also test you on general knowledge words, okay? So these are the three main differences between compre and vocab clause. And grammar clause. One, there are no options for comprehension clause. Two, there are multiple answers for comprehension clause. And three, comprehension clause will test multiple types of items and not just grammar. Okay, so let's go into today's presentation. I'm going to be talking about why we learn closed passages, right? What's the importance of mastering this skill of doing a closed passage? Why is it related to English? Okay, so you can see that basically a closed passage is any passage that you take words out of. Okay, missing words equals to closed passage. But what kind of words you take out will determine what kind of closed passage it is. If you only take out the grammar words, then you have a grammar clause. But if you take out all kinds of different words, then you have a comprehension clause, which is what we're going to focus on today, okay? So there are many, many different skills that can be improved if we learn what the strategies are to improve in closed passage. So critical thinking and inference, and your 21st century competencies like adaptive, critical, inventive thinking. These are some skills that you can develop as you learn how to do closed passages, okay? Because closed passages will force you to think about what is missing and will force you to activate your knowledge about grammar and language in order to find out the missing words and make sure that those words are correctly placed, okay? So comprehension clause boosts your critical thinking, improves your adaptive and inventive thinking because you're thinking outside the box to find out literally what is missing from that box. And finally, you can understand the context better. That means you read a passage with a deeper understanding of what the passage is about, which I will show you later, okay? So there are three main types of closed passages. We are only going to be looking at two, okay? Dialogue closed passages are quite complicated. They're like scripts in a movie, okay? So dialogue closed passages refer to like scripts that have words taken out of them. We're not dealing with dialogue closed passages in primary school. We're only focusing on narrative and informational, okay? And between narrative and informational closed passages, which one do you think is more common in exams and in tests? Anybody want to try? Which one, narrative or information? What do you think? Zinel, what do you think?
Narrative.
You think narrative? Okay. Stephanie, what do you think?
Narrative.
Narrative. Okay. Savesh, what do you think?
A narrative.
Narrative. Okay. Dylan, what do you think?
A narrative.
Narrative. Zinke, what do you think?
Narrative.
Also a narrative. What about you, Kayla?
Informational.
Informational. Okay, so Kayla has a different answer. Pei Wen, what about you?
Also narrative.
Also narrative. Okay, thank you everybody for participating. Actually, to tell you the truth, it's about 50-50. It's about even, okay? You are as likely to encounter a narrative as you are to encounter an information text. But lately, if you look at PSLE, if you look at PSLE 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, lately, information texts have been appearing more. Okay, information texts have been appearing more than narratives, simply because information texts tend to be a bit more challenging. Okay, because they test your general knowledge about a specific topic. Okay, whereas narratives are just stories, it's quite easy for you to guess the answers based off of all the stories that you'll read, right? Information texts tend to be a bit more challenging, okay? But that's something I thought it would be interesting for you all to know. Okay, so what are the key skills that I'll be going into today? Very quickly, I'll be talking about reading comprehension, vocabulary knowledge, context, as well as making inferences, okay? Again, how you read and understand, reading comprehension, the kind of words that you know, vocabulary knowledge, the bigger picture, understanding the context, contextual understanding, and drawing conclusions, that is inferencing based on the clues that you find in the passage, okay? So these are some of the main strategies and skills that we'll be covering. So in order to understand the passage, we need to first read the entirety of it. How many of you have heard from your teachers, don't start filling in words yet, start reading first? How many of you have heard that? Yeah, raise your hands if your teachers have taught you that. Yeah, it's a very important skill. All the way from primary 2 or 3, you should have learned this. Never start by writing your answers. Always start by reading the passage. And how many times should you read the passage? Can you use your fingers to indicate to me? How many times should you read the passage? Okay, right? How many times? With your fingers, can you indicate to me how many times? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 2s and 3s. Okay, very good. Actually, right, by the end of the entire session, you should have read the passage 3 times, right? But you should begin by reading the passage once, okay? And then reading the passage a second time. And on the second time, you can start to write the answers in, okay? Then on the third time when you read it, you start to check your answers, okay? So at least 3 times, more if possible, all right? Kayla, can you not read a book while you're in the middle of a lesson, please? Thank you very much. All right, as I was saying.
No, I'm taking a note down.
Oh, okay. If you're taking notes, then that's fine. All right. Yeah. I just remind everybody, please keep your full attention on the lesson. If you must, you can take notes, right? But please try not to be distracted, because I will send you the notes for today's lesson, right? As usual, I will take the slides down and I will send it to you. So I would prefer if you focus more on the lesson, right? And then ask me questions if you hear something you don't understand. Okay. Again, the lesson will be recorded and all the slides will be sent to all of you. It will appear either in your SLS or it will appear in the chat group with your parents, okay? So don't worry, all notes that I cover will be provided to all of you, okay? So always begin by reading the entire passage. Identify the main idea. Now, in the passage, right, where am I going to find the topic of this passage? I say again, in the passage, right, if I read the passage, right, where am I going to find the topic? If it's an information text, for example, where am I going to find the topic? Because there's no title for closed passage, right? So where am I going to find the topic? Where is the topic going to appear in the passage? Rinel?
At the end.
At the end? Do you really think so? Not quite, actually. Okay. Li Xuan, what about you?
The first sentence.
First sentence. Okay, yeah, everybody, please take note now. The closed passage, right, has always been structured such that the first and the last sentence will not have any blanks. Okay, if you don't believe me, go and check all the exam papers. Every closed passage will always have an intact first sentence and an intact last sentence. There's no blanks there. Why? Because the first sentence will always tell you what the whole passage is about. And it will also tell you whether it is fiction or non-fiction. Okay? Then the last sentence, right, is a summary of everything that has come before it. It's a summary statement. It tells you at the end what is the most important thing the writer wants you to learn from this whole passage. So again, the first sentence is the title and the last sentence is the summary. Okay, so always remember to read the first and the last sentence extra carefully, because they will tell you what the passage is about, and they will also tell you what is most important about the passage. Everybody, do you understand what Mr. Pang is saying? If you do, nod your heads, please. Okay, so the first and the last, they are like the pieces of bread in a sandwich that hold the whole thing together. Okay, the first is they tell you what this whole thing is about. The last is they tell you what is most important about this whole thing. Do you all understand, everybody? Okay, so always read the passage and always pay close attention to the first and the last sentences, because they are the title and the summary respectively. All right, okay, let's move on now. Okay, so we must always look out for the sentences in the closed passage. Now, when you look at the closed passage, right, if you want to break it down, you must always break it down by sentence. What is a sentence? Can anybody tell me? What is a sentence? This is not a trick question. It's a very simple question you should have learned in primary 1. Okay, Kayla, what is a sentence?
It is something that tells you information about.
No, I want something more specific than that. Nope. What is a sentence? How do I recognize a sentence when I see one? When I look at the page, right, how do I know that this is a sentence? Stephanie?
It has an uppercase letter and a full stop at the end.
Yeah, very good. It has an uppercase, a capital letter at the beginning, and then at the end, it has some kind of punctuation mark, right? Whether it's a full stop, exclamation mark, question mark, close inverted comma, right? It is marked by an end punctuation mark. Okay, so do you all know what a sentence is? You should, right? Okay, you must capitalize the first letter and you must end the sentence in some way, right? With a full stop or with an exclamation mark or with a question mark. Anything with a dot in it is a way to end the sentence. Okay, everybody? So that's the sentence. In other words, you must break down the comprehension clause into individual sentences, and you must consider each sentence as its own. And then look at what's missing in that sentence. Okay? Because every sentence will contain parts of speech. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, right? Parts of speech, they will always be in a sentence. By the way, do you know what is the shortest sentence in the English language? What is the shortest sentence in the English language, and how many words do you need to make the shortest sentence, the shortest in the English language? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, I give you multiple choice. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, shortest number of words. Okay, Kayla, what do you think?
It's a phrase, and I think it's about 3 words.
3 words. Can you give me an example?
Wait, let me think.
Okay, you think about
it. It's lightning or something like that. I don't know any 3 words.
Okay, you said 3 words. 3 words the shortest, right? You are incorrect, by the way. It's shorter than that. Okay, Atta, what do you think?
I also thought it's 3 words.
3 words. Okay, you are incorrect. It is shorter than that. Stephanie, what do you think?
1 word.
1 word. Okay, you say 1 word. Cannot go shorter than 1 word, right? What? Can you give me an example of a 1-word sentence?
Hello.
No. Okay, that's not a sentence. Okay. Because when you say hello, right? My question will be, what exactly are you trying to communicate? A sentence must communicate an idea. Okay, it must communicate something, right? So in this case, hello is not really a sentence. It's more of a greeting. Okay, can anyone give me a 1-word? And you're correct, Stephanie. It's a 1-word sentence. That's the shortest. And what is a 1-word sentence that can convey meaning immediately? Tinker?
I think why.
Why? No, it's not a question word either. Chloe?
I'm gonna say go.
Go. Very good. Right. Go. What kind of a word is go, Chloe? What kind of word? Is it a verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb, or a preposition?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, never mind. Thank you very much for trying. At least you got one part of it correct. Okay, anybody answer the question for Chloe? Kayla?
Wait, no, I was thinking of another word.
Okay, Zanel?
It's a verb.
It's a verb. Very good, right? So the lesson learned here is the shortest sentence in the English language is a verb. Just one verb. It's a command, right? When you say go, right? Do you understand what I'm telling you to do? Right? If I say stand, do you know what you're supposed to do? If I say sit, right? Do you know what you're supposed to do? Yeah. So verbs, right, are most powerful. They are the most powerful words in the English language because by themselves, right, they can form a sentence. No other word in the English language can do that. For example, if I use your name, right, let's say I call Zanel, okay? What is Zanel going to say to Mr. Pang? Zanel is going to say, what? Right? Isn't that right? I cannot communicate anything by using her name. I'm just going to say, Zanel. Then Zanel is going to go, huh? What do you want me to do? Right? Then I have to tell Zanel what I want her to do. I have to say, Zanel, climb that tree. Or Zanel, climb through that tunnel. Okay? Or Zanel, feed that dog. Okay? That's the action. But if I look at Zanel and I go, jump, does Zanel know what to do? Yeah, it's immediate. I communicate an idea. So an idea can be communicated with verbs. Therefore, verbs are the heart of a sentence. They are at the heart of a sentence. You cannot remove a verb from a sentence. The sentence will die if you take out the verb. Do you all understand, everybody? There is one word in the English language you can never remove, and that's the verb. If you take all the other words out, right, that sentence can still survive. But the moment you remove the verb, right, the sentence will die. Okay, it's the one thing you cannot remove. It's the beating heart of a sentence. The verb. Eat, swim, jump, sing, punch, kick, resist. All these are verbs. And they tell you what to do. And therefore, they are most important. So most of the words in a closed passage are verbs or related to verbs. Okay, everybody, do you understand? Because it is the most important word, right? A lot of the blanks will be verbs or adverbs. Verbs or words related to verbs. So look out for verbs, look out for missing verbs, and look out for the tenses they ought to be in, okay? Subject-verb agreement also, you see, also verb, right? Remember subject-verb agreement? One puts S after the verb, E-I-E-I-O. Many know S after verb, E-I-E-I-O. It's still about verbs. You cannot run away from verbs. Verbs are the most important. Okay, everybody? If you forget everything else, but don't, in this lesson, remember that verbs are the heart of a sentence. You cannot lose verbs. Verbs appear in closed passages a lot. Okay? So make sure you check the verb. Make sure you check the subject-verb agreement. Make sure you check the tense of your answer as you choose it. Okay? So contextual clues, right? Usually, right, in a closed passage, right, there will be a clue that's related to the blank. So for example, if I say something like, Kayla, can you please stop it? Kayla, this is being recorded. I'm sure you understand, right? And this will be shared and telecast to your parents. Please be on your best behavior. Everything is captured, including the chats and including the reactions. I need not remind you of this. This is already your 4th session, all right? Okay, so please make sure that you'll be on your best behavior. In fact, the scolding I've just given you is also going to be recorded. Okay, so please be on your best behavior. Right, so for example, in a sentence, right, if I say something like, he was angry and blank because someone had taken his lunch, okay? What would be a word that fits in to angry and blank? Anybody? Okay, let's hear Reagan.
Upset.
Upset? Okay, that works. Kaden, what about you?
Hungry.
Angry and hungry. Okay, possible, right? Very good. We already see there are 2 possible answers. One to do with the fact that angry and upset. Can you see that they are synonyms? Right? Angry and upset are synonyms. Okay, so that works. Caden's answer, angry and hungry. Where did Caden get hungry from? Anybody can tell me where Caden got hungry from? Dylan, where do you think he got it from?
I think he got it from like the sentence you just said at the start.
What was the sentence? Can you remind me roughly? Don't have to be the exact words.
It's like he was angry like because he was hungry.
No, that's not part of the sentence. What in the sentence tells me that he was hungry? What happened after the sentence? Remember, the sentence goes on, right? Can anyone remember? Reagan, can you refresh our minds? Reagan?
Because someone stole his lunch.
Yeah, someone took his lunch, right? So therefore he's hungry. So Caden is right to infer that because someone took his lunch, he could feel hungry. He's angry and he's hungry. So can you see the relationship here? Either to the anger or to the fact that someone took his lunch. There are synonyms here, right? They are related. And the word and tells me something is connected to it. Any other possible answers besides upset and hungry? And any other possible answers you think can fit? He was angry and blank. Arthur, do you have another one?
Annoyed.
Annoyed, okay. Is annoyed also a synonym of angry? Yeah, it is, right? Okay. Pei Wen, what about you?
Sad.
Sad, okay. Not quite so strong because sad and angry are not really related, okay? So I wouldn't accept sad, right? Zinel?
Frustrated.
Frustrated, okay. Frustration and anger are related and therefore synonymous. Okay, Reagan, what about you?
Sorry, Mr. Pang, but I forgotten to put down the
Okay,
pen.
no worries. I already put it down for you. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so I just revise. First strategy, read the entire passage. Okay, read the first and the last sentence in particular, topic and summary. Second, look at the sentence structure. Remember to look out for verbs because verbs are the most important words and verbs can be in different tenses and have subject and verb agreement. And then look out for contextual clues. Clues that tell you something is related by the word and, A-N-D, for example. Pei Wen, can you please focus on the lesson and not play with your fingers? Thank you. Right. So you look at, for example, something like and, A-N-D, angry and frustrated, angry and upset, angry and hungry, right? These are related concepts, okay? If I use the word but, I'm talking about antonyms already, right? He was upset, but he what me? But he what me? Upset, but he what me? Blank. But he what? He was upset, but he what me? Anybody? This is an antonym, Rinal?
Forgave.
Forgave me, okay? Stephanie? Or are you going to say forgave too?
So ignored.
Oh, okay, ignored. Okay, very good. That's another possibility. So I'm angry. Usually I will go and bother him, right? Or I'm angry, I will usually not forgive him, right? So the opposite of my anger is forgiveness. The opposite of my anger is ignoring him, not paying any attention to him. So the antonym or the opposite of my answer is the word but. When I see the word but, I'm looking for antonyms, right? Opposite answers. So synonyms and antonyms can give us clues in the sentence, in the context, about what should appear in the blank. Everybody clear about this? I'm sure you all use this to some degree, right? You look out for these kinds of clues, and these kinds of clues help you to arrive at the answer. So synonyms and antonyms are examples of contextual clues, right? Of course, these are not the only contextual clues, but they're the simplest ones, okay? So look out for signal words. Things like however, therefore, first, then, next, finally, likely, similarly, unlike. All these tells you what's going to come next. Okay, and transition words can indicate to you what is going to happen in the passage next. So look out for transition words. Okay, and finally, look out for what the genre of the text is. Do you all know what I mean by genre of the text? Have I taught you this before? Genre of the text. Do you all know what that means? It means the type of text. Okay, so fiction or non-fiction, fantasy or mystery. All right, it could be science fiction, it could be information, right? It could be all kinds of different genres. Okay, right. So elimination. Okay, test your answer against the passage. Put it into the blank. See if it works. If not, cancel. Put another one. So you eliminate. If you think there are a few possible answers, try them all out and then see which one fits the best. Everybody okay? Everybody clear so far? Okay, good. Now, can I remind everybody to keep your cameras on? Because if you don't, then I cannot see you and I cannot monitor you. Okay, if you don't turn your cameras on, then again, during the recording, I will have to pick your name out and then ask your parents to remind you to turn on your cameras. Okay, so please turn your cameras on at all times. Thank you very much. Okay, so remember to reread and check. This is not a strategy, but it's just a reminder. Read through on the third time. As you read through on the third time, try to check that everything is correct, that your sentences make sense. Remember, break the passage down into sentences. Okay, make sure every sentence makes sense from the capital letter all the way to the punctuation mark. Make sure that everything makes sense. Okay, right. These are some common mistakes that everybody makes. Yes, Kayla, what is it?
If you have to fill in a blank at the beginning of a sentence, do you still need to put capital letter?
Yes, you do, right? Yes, you do. But you will not be penalized for your lack of capital letter. But I think it's common sense and proper English to always capitalize the first word of a sentence. Don't you agree? It shouldn't be something you do only because your teacher tells you to. This is the correct word to use. Is that clear, Kayla? So I don't want you to think only in terms of, well, will I be penalized for it? If not, I won't do it, right? You shouldn't be thinking that way. Rather, you should be thinking what's the right thing to do. Okay, and then I want to do the right thing, whether or not I'm penalized for it. Is that okay? Right? So always remember, do the right thing. It doesn't matter whether you get credit or you get penalized for it. That's beside the point. The important thing is doing the right thing. All right? So look at all of these pitfalls. Don't rush. Don't rush through, because closed passage is where a lot of careless mistakes occur. Read every sentence. Read every neighboring word to the blank carefully so that your word fits into that blank. Right? If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Right? You should be able to see that it doesn't fit and then change to another word that does. Okay? Don't forget to pay attention to punctuation, okay? Because there are some words, for example, but, B-U-T, cannot start a sentence, right? So if you see a full stop, the next word cannot be a but, okay? So there are some words that cannot start a sentence. There are some words that cannot end a sentence, okay? So you must make sure you look at punctuation so you know what word fits and what doesn't. Punctuation is important too. Don't ignore it, okay? And then don't ignore sentences that have no blanks. I say again, don't ignore sentences that have no blanks. They are put there for a reason, right? Every sentence is there to give you a clue about the next blank, even sentences that have no blanks in them. Is that clear, everybody? A lot of y'all tend to rush through, right? Then you only look at the sentence with the blank. That's a big mistake. Sometimes there is something in that other sentence that tells you what you cannot write in the blank, right? Because something has already been mentioned earlier or later. Okay, so pay attention to every sentence, okay? And don't only use words you are familiar with. Think about all kinds of possible words you can use. Don't just use the words you like happy or sad, you know, the very basic ones. Think outside the box. Okay, so now it's 3:30. Let's spend the next 10 minutes doing a practice information close. Okay, ta-da! Can y'all see? Can see or not? Yeah, let me make it a little bit bigger. Okay, right. You might need to zoom in. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can make this a bit bigger. Okay, is this better? Is this better? Okay, I'm not sure I can successfully do it. Okay, I need to make it a bit bigger, like this. Oops, sorry. Okay, here. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right. Now, can y'all see the first sentence? The Dead Sea may not sound like the most charming place in the world to visit. Okay? The Dead Sea may not sound like the most charming place in the world to visit. Now, can anyone tell me what this first sentence tells me? What does this first sentence tell me? Anand?
It's like not a good place to visit.
No. I'm asking you, what does it tell me about the passage? What does this first sentence tell me about the passage? Stephanie?
It's about why the Dead Sea is charming or not. I don't know. It's about why it's about the Dead Sea.
Okay, that's a fair statement. It's about the Dead Sea, all right? The title will probably be the Dead Sea, right? It's about the Dead Sea, right? So remember, the first sentence tells you what the passage is about. It's about the Dead Sea. What else does it tell me about this text? Okay, Adele?
It tells you that it might not be the nicest place to.
Okay, don't look at the content first. Don't look at the content. I'm asking you about the text itself. What kind of text is this? Looking at the first sentence, right? What kind of text is this going to be? Don't talk about the content yet. What kind of text is it going to be?
Non-fiction text.
Non-fiction? Okay, very good. What makes you say that, Adele? Why not fiction? Why non-fiction?
Because the Dead Sea is a real place and they're telling you about it.
Okay, very good. It's a real place. Or if you didn't know about it, you can tell from the tense, right? The tense is in the present tense, right? Can you see it's that present tense? Because it's present tense, right? It tells me it's information text, and it's talking about a place that really exists, like Adele said. It's a real place. And therefore, it is a non-fiction text, okay? So very important, One, this is a non-fiction text. Two, this is about the Dead Sea. And three, it's present tense, right? Because it's talking about facts, right? It's talking about real things that really exist in the world today. So that's a very good observation. Okay, Arthur, did you want to add something else? Arthur?
No, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Then let's continue. Okay, so let's go into the first sentence. Located in a valley that is surrounded by the West Bank, Jordan, and Israel, the Dead Sea blank approximately 402 square kilometers. Now, the key, what's the contextual clue? What's the clue? Don't tell me the answer. Tell me what's the clue in this sentence. What's the most important thing I should highlight in this sentence before I write the answer? Okay, Zanel, what do you think?
402 square kilometers.
Okay, square kilometers. Have you all learned what is a square kilometer or square meter or square centimeter? What is square centimeter or square kilometer or square meter? What is it measuring? Anand, what does it measure?
It's the area of something.
It's the area of something, right? So I'm measuring, that means the area of the Dead Sea is 402 square kilometers. In other words, question 51 is the action of seeing how big it is. What is the action you take to see how big something is? What is the action you take to see how big something is? That's the answer to this particular question. Okay, Dylan, what do you think?
Measures.
Do you think measures is correct, everybody? Okay, let me write that down. Measures. Okay, located in a valley that is surrounded by the West Bank, Jordan, and Israel, the Dead Sea measures approximately 402 square kilometers. Right? Do you measure the area of something? You do, right? Yes, you do, right? You need to use like special instruments to measure the area of something. So absolutely correct, Dylan. Well done. Does anybody have a different answer to measures? Because remember, closed passages sometimes can have different answers, right? In this case, do you think there's a different answer here? Kayla, are you raising your hand or did you forget to lower it?
I'm raising my hand.
Okay, go ahead. You want to give us an alternative to measures?
Is.
Is. No, something doesn't just have area. Area must be measured in some way, right? It's not is 402 square kilometers. It doesn't work that way, okay? Tinker?
Given.
Given? No, that doesn't fit, right? You don't, area is not given to you, okay? Area must be measured, okay? You measure the area of something. You don't give the area of something. Do you understand, everybody? It's not a number you randomly give, It is something that you must measure in order to find the specific area of. So in order to find the area, you must measure. So it measures approximately 402 square kilometers. Very good. Okay, next question 52 is the beginning of a sentence. So it is obviously going to be some kind of connector, right? And is it a connector of contrast or is it a connector of causality? Meaning, is it a because kind of connector or is it a but kind of connector? Right? You have to think about that. Renelle?
A but?
But?
No, that is like.
Oh, the type is but. Okay, you are right. Okay, it's a but. It's a contrast connector. Do you want to try to put an answer there?
Though.
Though is gloomy name? No, that doesn't fit, right? Though it has a gloomy name. But this is not though it has, right? Though it's gloomy name. Okay, Singman?
Despite.
Very good. Despite is the correct answer, right? Despite its gloomy name, right? Even though its name is gloomy, it is known for its ability to bolster or strengthen the mind, the body, and the soul. Got it, everybody? Because the name is very gloomy, right? Dead Sea, but like Renelle said, it's a but contrast, right? But it's able to make you stronger in your mind, your body, and your soul. Got it, everybody? It's a despite. Okay, it's a but connector. It's a contrast connector. Okay, can you all see I'm using different types of word clues? I'm using contextual clues. I'm looking at elimination in order to find the correct answer. Okay, so I'm looking at the clue and then I'm using the clue in order to arrive at the answer. In this case, it's the gloomy name and then ability to bolster mind, body, and soul. Okay, let's do a few more. Okay, then we'll call it a day. I'll leave this as homework for you all to finish in an SLS assignment. All right. Okay, next 53. Okay. What exactly gives the Dead Sea its name? The Dead Sea is what from all the other bodies of the water because it is incredibly salty, right? So I'm comparing the Dead Sea to all other bodies of water. The Dead Sea is, okay, Jaden Ong. Jaden Ong, unmute yourself. No, I'm not hearing you. Sorry. Savesh, can you try?
Different.
Different. Thank you. Different from all other bodies of water. Because, why is it different? Because it is extremely or incredibly salty. And then 54, a saline level, that means the salt level. Saline means salt. A salt level between 28 and 35%. So this one is the additional information to explain to you why it is incredibly salty, right? It is additional information. So this is another connector. And this connector is a connector that tells you is related to the salty. What a saline level between 28 and 35%. Let's have Ruel. Did you raise your hand just now? Ruel, go ahead.
With.
With, okay, very good. With a salt level or saline level, with a salt or saline level of between 28 and 35%, which y'all can imagine is very salty, right? Okay, almost 35% of the water is made of salt. That's quite a lot of salt, okay, in the water. That's more than normal. Okay, excellent, very good. So far, are y'all seeing how Mr. Pang is getting the answer? Okay, I'm using the contextual clues in the first and the second parts of the sentence in order to arrive at the word that's missing from my question. In this case, question 54. Okay, with a saline or salt level between 20 and 35%. Okay, by what the world's saltiest oceans have saline levels between 3 and 6% only. Okay, by what? So just now, what were we doing? What were we doing? We were looking at the Dead Sea, and then we are looking at all the other seas, right? What are we doing? We were what? What's the word that we are doing? We are looking at the Dead Sea, and then we're looking at all the other seas. Okay, what were we doing earlier? Let's have, okay, very good. I'm seeing a lot of people volunteering. Well done. Okay, let's have, okay, Savesh, you want to try again?
Yeah. Comparison.
By comparison, very good. By comparison, did y'all get comparison? That's excellent, right? I'm doing comparison between this sea and all the other seas, right? Okay, by comparison, right? The world's saltiest oceans have only 3 and 6%, right? So that's 10 times as salty as all the other seas in the world, okay? The Dead Sea is 10 times saltier, okay? By comparison. Excellent, okay? So next one, 56. The Dead Sea, what? Its high mineral content to several factors. So in this case, I'm highlighting to you, its high mineral content is caused by several factors. The Dead Sea, its high mineral salt content to several factors. Sigma?
Gets.
Gets its high mineral content, because the word get is from, but in this case it's to. Can you see the word is to here? To, right? So it doesn't work. It's to. It's not from. If you say it gets its high mineral salt content from several places, then you can use the word from, gets. Okay, but in this case it's not gets. Okay, to. Its high mineral salt content to something. Pei Wen, this one difficult.
Has.
Sorry?
Has.
Has, no, incorrect. Okay. Lucas, again, I remind you, there's no need to inform everybody. You can go ahead, all right? Thank you very much, right? Please keep the disruptions to a minimum, right? Singmong, go ahead.
Divides.
No. Oh dear, is nobody going to get it? Kayla?
Contain.
No. Yeah, its high mineral salt content to. The word to is the key, yeah? You what something to something. Dylan?
Has.
No. Okay, this one Mr. Pang do for you, okay? This one very difficult. I allow you to get this wrong, okay? Okay, Renelle, one last one.
Spread.
No. Okay, it owes it owes its high mineral content to several factors. You owe something to something else. You owe money to this loan shark. Got it? You owe the high mineral content to several different reasons. You owe it to several different reasons. Okay, everybody? Yes, Kayla? What is it? Do you have a question?
I
Yep.
still don't understand what you mean by that.
Oh, you owe, the owes, right? You owe something to it, owing to. Have you heard of the connector owing to? Owing to the fact that he has many children, he is well taken care of. Owing to the fact that, or owing to his diligence, he succeeded in life. Owing to. So you owe something to, right? That means you're saying it's because of something else that you get this. So in this case, right, it's because of the the several factors, right, that you get the high mineral salt content in the Dead Sea. Okay, so owing to or owes its high mineral salt content to several factors. It's a kind of language feature. Okay, right, never mind. 56 is quite tough. Let's go on to the next question. We'll stop here. Okay, it's 3:43. Let's do the last one, 57. Okay, evaporation what quickly because that region is extremely hot. So this is a verb, right? Can you see a lot of it is verbs? Huh? Okay, a lot of this is verbs. Huh? Okay, okay, Renelle?
Happens.
Happens. But this one got more than one answer. Yes, Ruel?
I wanted to say the same thing as Anil.
Okay, anybody has a different answer from happens? Renelle? Didn't lower your hand, is it?
Yeah, forgot.
Okay. Arthur?
Comes.
No, evaporation doesn't come. Evaporation happens, it doesn't come. Evaporation does not come and go. Okay, please use the correct verb to describe the process. Evaporation occurs. Okay, occurs. It happens or it occurs because it is extremely hot, right? You all know that temperature increases evaporation, right? When temperature rises, right, evaporation increases. Okay, and therefore, that's why puddles evaporate quickly in the hot sun, right? Because of the temperature increase. So happens or occurs. Notice, measures is a verb, okay? Owes is a verb, happens is a verb. Can you see how many verbs there are already in this short 5 to 6 questions? Almost half of them are verbs. So always remember, verbs are very important. Pay close attention to verbs in any sentence because verbs carry tenses and verbs carry agreement, subject-verb agreement. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. It's 3:44. Thank you all for being so attentive. I have assigned an SLS assignment to all of you to practice your grammar close. Okay, I will also park this in as a second assignment for you to practice as your open-ended comprehension close. Okay, so you have 2 closes to do over the weekend. Please log into SLS. You already can do the grammar close after this, but then I will post this comprehension close maybe sometime tomorrow, so you all can work on it as well. Is everybody okay with that? Is that too much homework? No, right? You all should be able to finish it very quickly. Just enter in 10 words for the grammar close, enter in 15, another 9 words here for the comprehension close in order to finish it. Okay, everybody? If you are okay with this, then thank you very much. If you have no questions, you may log off. Well done for your attentiveness. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
You can go. Bye. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you on Monday.